have had people suggest to me that Blac Youngsta is no longer associated with CMG, and he might have took it out of his bio on Instagram and stuff.
I seen something, somebody post something on his saying that he scrubbed his social media, CMG or whatever.
Word on the street is Gotti had Blac Youngsta checked after he leaked his freaky tape with 42 Dugg. Just in case you need more convincing, Glorilla confirmed it too. Now, Gotti doesn't play about CMG, loyalty, or embarrassment, so when Blac Youngsta started exposing Gotti online, everybody and their mama knew this wasn't gonna end well. At this point, you might be asking, why do it? Aren't Blac Youngsta and Gotti tight? Well, this relationship been cracked. People love to paint Gotti and Blac Youngsta as this unbreakable duo, but they ain't. Blac Youngsta was always the loudest one in CMG. High energy, reckless jokes, always moving first and thinking later, and that worked until it didn't. Youngsta was playing the wild card, but Gotti was playing chess. Brand protection and long-term legacy. See, inside CMG, the issue was never talent, it was control. Youngsta didn't always move like someone under a tight label structure, and over time, that started looking less like personality and more like a liability. And when you're representing a camp that already gets watched extra hard, that kind of behavior doesn't age well. Now fast forward to the post-Young Dolph era, and this is where things really started feeling uncomfortable. Blac Youngsta was his usual self, but Gotti leaned into silence. And when a boss starts emphasizing loyalty out loud, that's usually not random. Most fans caught it immediately. That wasn't aimed at outsiders, that was internal. Let's call it as it is. Youngsta became a loose end. He was the only one who could let something slip that was never meant to leave the room. Dolph's passing put CMG under a microscope. Courtrooms, headlines, narratives, names getting mentioned, everything felt heavier. Around that time, Youngsta basically admitted they clashed. He said more than once that Gotti felt like he moved reckless. Even the titles told the story. Young and Reckless wasn't just a project name, it was a warning label. Everyone knows that Youngsta was the only liability when it comes to airing out Gotti's involvement in the Dolph case, so dude just had to go. Simple as that. So it really makes you wonder if the rumors are true. He could have really leaked that tape with 42 Dugg, cause that would definitely ruin the entire CMG image that Gotti fought so hard to build up. Speaking of Dugg, dude's been locked in with Yo Gotti's CMG since 2019 through that joint move with Lil Baby's 4PF. And from day one, he's been positioned very differently than Blac Youngsta. Less talking, less posting, more handle business and disappear. That difference matters more than people realize. While CMG has had loud personalities, Dugg has always moved like a company man. He drops music, does features, handles his obligations, and stays out the mix. Even after coming home and getting back active, he didn't jump online explaining himself or chasing narratives. He just worked. And in a camp where loyalty and discipline are everything, that's not accidental. When rumors popped up tying his name to this tape, people didn't see him as the source. They saw him as the protected piece. That's why this theory gained traction. If something embarrassing was being joked about or talked about internally, fans believe Gotti's priority would be protecting the artist who actually follows the rules. But how did this whole thing fall apart so fast between Gotti and Youngsta? It feels like just a minute ago they got started. Back around 2015, Youngsta was still moving like a hungry Memphis rapper with something to prove. And the way he got Gotti's attention wasn't subtle at all. He literally crashed one of Gotti's video shoots blasting his own music, making sure he stood out whether people liked it or not. And that right there tells you everything about him. Most artists would play it cool, but Youngsta went loud and bold. Within weeks, he's sitting down with CMG, getting meetings, getting looks, all while still recovering from a shooting and building street buzz off records like Heavy. That hunger resonated with Gotti because it reminded him of himself. So instead of rushing a deal, Gotti tested him. He took Youngsta on tour, 2 months straight, watching how he moved, how he handled pressure, how he interacted with people. And that's key, because Gotti doesn't just sign talent, he signs behavior. By early 2017, the decision was made. The signing didn't even happen in some dusty office. It happened on a private jet. And to really seal the big brother energy, Gotti gifted Youngsta a Lamborghini, a statement move if there ever was one. That wasn't just business, that was trust. From there, they moved like family. Radio runs together, music together, interviews where Youngsta openly called Gotti his big brother. And for a long time, Gotti defended him publicly. Even when rumors popped up years later about tension, Gotti brushed it off, calling Youngsta a boss and downplaying any issues. So when people ask, why does this situation feel so messy? That's why. This wasn't some random artist label disagreement. This was a mentor-protege relationship that slowly started cracking under pressure. Because when you go from being someone's little bro to someone they have to manage, things change. And here's the uncomfortable truth fans don't like admitting. The same energy that got Youngsta signed, loud, fearless, unpredictable, is the same energy that eventually caused friction. So when you fast forward to today and rumors start flying about leaks, jokes, disrespect, and loyalty tests, people don't see it as an accident. They see it as the relationship finally hitting the wall it had been speeding toward for years. Which brings us to the next question nobody wants to answer honestly. As you probably know, Blac Youngsta lost his brother in August 2023. Broad daylight, Memphis, a gas station, no warning. And immediately, fans started asking questions, not just about the crime itself, but about why Youngsta's family was even in harm's way to begin with. Because here's the uncomfortable part nobody likes to sit with. Blac Youngsta was never the origin of the CMG versus young Dolph beef. That situation existed long before he became the loudest voice in it. And yet, he was the one out front. Let's be real. When that beef was at its peak, Youngsta was the one doing the most talking. Diss records, trolling, online energy. He became the face of a war that wasn't technically his to start. Meanwhile, Yo Gotti stayed quiet, distant, and strategic. So fans started wondering, was Youngsta protecting the brand, or was he being used as the shield? Now officially, there's no evidence tying his brother's death to Dolph, CMG, or retaliation from any camp. Law enforcement never made that connection. The suspect who was arrested later died before the case ever fully unfolded, which only added more unanswered questions. But hip-hop fans don't operate off court documents alone. They operate off patterns, and the pattern they see looks like this. Blac Youngsta was the most vocal soldier. Dolph's death changed everything, and the violence never really stopped. So when tragedy hits Youngsta's family, people start connecting dots, even if those dots don't officially touch. This is where the tanking for CMG theory comes from. The idea that Blac Youngsta absorbed pressure, hate, and danger because he played the frontline role in a conflict that benefited the camp more than it benefited him personally. That he took risks that weren't his to take and paid a price. Because when Youngsta posted emotional tributes and pain-filled messages after his brother's death, a lot of fans didn't just see grief, they saw exhaustion, the kind that comes from carrying weight that was never supposed to be yours. If you're Blac Youngsta and you feel like you gave everything, your voice, your reputation, even your safety, for a camp, at some point you're gonna ask yourself whether it was worth it. This was a strong reason for Youngsta to crash out and start all kinds of zesty rumors about Gotti. Now, if we're gonna be fair, we gotta mention Jook here, cause Gotti did suffer a loss too. Yo, Gotti didn't just watch this CMG Dolph situation spiral from the sidelines, he lost his brother too. In January 2024, Big Jook was shot and killed outside a Memphis restaurant. Broad daylight, multiple shots, no confusion about what it was. Fans immediately said this didn't look random. It looked like retaliation, and once prosecutors started talking in court, the internet basically exploded. Because as you guys probably know, Big Jook wasn't just Yo Gotti's brother, he was CMG muscle, the right hand, the one handling street-level relationships, promotions, artist politics, and allegedly, the darker side of keeping the label powerful in Memphis. According to trial testimony connected to young Dolph's murder, Jook was accused of offering money tied to that 2021 hit. That alone shifted how people looked at everything, because now the feud wasn't just rap beef or internet trolling. It was being described in court as real-life decisions with real-life consequences. And once Jook was killed, fans saw it as the cycle completing itself. Dolph dies in 2021, years of tension simmer, then Jook gets taken out in 2024. So when people ask why Yo Gotti became even more silent, more controlled, more locked in after that, the answer feels obvious. This wasn't just business anymore, this was blood. Now here's where it ties directly back to Blac Youngsta. Both men lost brothers, both losses happened in the shadow of the same beef, and both losses hardened people's opinions about loyalty. For Gotti, Jook's death likely reinforced one thing: nothing leaks, nothing jokes, nothing moves without control. When your family pays the ultimate price, embarrassment isn't funny and rumors aren't harmless. So when fans say Gotti wouldn't tolerate anyone playing loose with sensitive situations, whether that's jokes, conversations, or private moments, it doesn't sound extreme, but expected. And that's why this tape rumor hit so hard. After losing his brother, Yo Gotti wouldn't just be protecting his image, he'd be protecting his entire world, the label, the camp, and the folks around him that are still alive, which creates a dangerous idea. If someone inside CMG made him feel exposed, even unintentionally, that wouldn't be seen as a mistake. It's a goddamn risk. And once you start viewing it that way, the internet's next leap makes sense, even if it's not proven, because when emotions run that deep, silence stops being passive and discipline starts feeling personal. Now what about Glorilla? We said she stamped the rumors, but is that really true? Well, since her breakout with FNF, Glorilla hasn't just been a rising star, she's been a statement. Memphis bred, Memphis made, and Memphis loyal. At least that's how it looks on the surface. CMG, Yo Gotti's label, swooped in fast after her viral hit in 2022. No weeks-long negotiations, no drawn-out offers, just Gotti reaching out, recognizing raw talent, and offering a path that's been proven to work for others like Moneybagg Yo. That rapid-fire approach wasn't just smart business, it built an immediate bond of trust, the kind that hip-hop thrives on. Glorilla signed with CMG without fully dissecting the contract, and that's telling. It's not naivety, it's faith. Faith in the system, faith in Gotti, faith that if she put in the work, the label would back her up. Since then, she's dropped hits like Yay Glow under CMG, maintaining a visible presence with the roster, 42 Dugg, Blac Youngsta, and others. Publicly, she's praised the label, calling it the hottest in music, while her tours, festival appearances, and multi-platinum tracks cement her as CMG's rising flagship act. There's a vibe of mutual benefit here. Glorilla gets the platform to expand, while CMG gets a breakout female voice dominating the charts. But with any high-profile label relationship, the whispers are inevitable. Fans speculate, sometimes about dating rumors, sometimes about shady label practices. There's chatter about her being linked to Gotti personally post-Angela Simmons split, which fuels the rumor mill. But Glorilla herself has stayed mum. No interviews confirming anything, no Instagram stories teasing drama, nothing. Her energy remains on the grind, touring arenas, hitting festival stages like iHeartRadio Music Festival, Camp Flog Gnaw, Hot 97 Summer Jam, and Essence Fest, and teasing new music via Spotify messages directly to fans. In every move, she's reinforcing loyalty through action, not words. So, could she ever turn her back on CMG? The short answer, anything's possible. Hip-hop's history is full of artists who've left labels over creative control, money, or messy personal conflicts. But looking at Glorilla's current position, it doesn't make sense, at least not right now. Her career is exploding under CMG's umbrella, giving her multi-platinum hits, headline tours, festival spots, and growing industry recognition. If she were to leave, it would have to be for something significant, like payment disputes or a serious label fallout. But no evidence of that has surfaced. Rumors of her exit mostly stem from internet stories, and it's only made worse by social media making so much noise. In reality, Glow's actions suggest she's invested in CMG's ecosystem, navigating it with the same sharpness she brings to her music. Even subtler dynamics, like Blac Youngsta tape rumors, haven't altered her course. She hasn't publicly taken sides, and she hasn't called out anyone. Her silence here is strategic, aligning with how other CMG artists, like 42 Dugg, manage internal label issues, quietly, professionally, and without stirring unnecessary drama. Glorilla's solo rise could naturally fuel speculation, but she hasn't let that speculation dictate her narrative. She's controlling her story through output, new music, performances, and fan engagement, all of which reinforce her loyalty to CMG and her position within the label. What makes her relationship with CMG tight isn't just business, it's trust. The label bet on her early, and she reciprocated by being a reliable, high-energy artist, bringing value without causing chaos. That loyalty is rare in an industry built on hype, flexes, and occasional betrayal. She's proving that a Memphis female rapper can dominate charts while staying professional and connected to a label that's historically been male-heavy and competitive. At the end of the day, her path forward looks explosive. Her career arc is climbing, and CMG's platform is fueling that climb. That said, the whispers and rumors will always exist, because that's hip-hop culture. Fans dissect, speculate, and theorize, often without all the facts. But Glorilla's strategy is clear. Let the music and performances speak, keep quiet on speculation, and maintain her position at CMG's top table. So did Blac Youngsta really cross a line, or was he just the easiest target? And was Gotti correcting the situation quietly, or ignoring it completely?